when the Packers do well, we come on this show and we give them all their flowers. Sometimes people are blown away, actually, that Vikings fans can give the Packers the flowers that we give them. But the other side of that coin, when they have a game like today, they
didn't punt a single time today. They must have blown out the Panthers, right?
I was listening to the beginning of Andy's show, his reaction show, and he had some great lines where he said, the Packers outgained them 369 to 265. They barely, but they do win the time of possession. They outpass them 265 to 102. They were better on third downs. They were better in almost every category except the final score. And to lose to the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers are 5-4, like one of the weirdest 5-4s I've ever seen. Because I don't think that they're like average. I think they're bad. Like
the Panthers their wins include the Dolphins by 3 points, the Jets by 6 or 7 points, the Cowboys by 3 points. Their losses include the Patriots and the Bills beating them by a combined almost 70 points.
Yeah, I just think that they're a bad team. There's someone that when they come into your building, you need to wallop them. Like the Bills last week won 40-9. I know Andy Dalton played, but guys, today Bryce Young was 11 for 20 for 102 yards and an interception. It's not like Bryce Young came in and saved the Carolina Panthers. You need to do what Buffalo did last week. And it's
the Patriots did in September.
It's just an inexcusable loss, and it's yet another example. Like we were joking all week on our shows, on the Herman show, about, this has been the same story, right? This would be the game where they go and lose. Like, surely it can't happen again. And I feel like we're in the twilight zone with this team. Every single time they have a big win and they have momentum, they have a crap team on the schedule, and they lose. They don't show up. It's totally inexcusable for a team that should be a Super Bowl contender.
No, and one thing I will say is I think the Tucker Kraft injury is a bigger deal for this team than the loss in terms of their future prospects.
Yeah.
We talked to Vandy last week. He said Tucker Kraft was the most important weapon on this team, and him being missing would probably for the rest of the season, it's at least an MCL. It could be an ACL tear. We will find out very soon. That's a disaster for them. But even with him out, you have Romeo Doubs, you have Christian Watson, you had Matthew Golden for some of the game before he went out with a concussion. You've got Josh Jacobs. To get inside the 25 6 times and score, not a touchdown, just score it all one time. And I know one of those was a 43-yard missed Brandon McManus field goal, but to only score one time there, yeah, if you do that, you're going to lose.
It feels like a lot of the things we brought up last week and the wins shadow it, right? Like the first half against the Steelers was not super pretty, but then they had that dominant fourth quarter, and it's, you know what? Like, hey, we're hot. Like, let's vote. And we talked with Andy about that. If you flip it, it's a much different feeling. When you win games, you're focusing on the most recent thing that happened. McManus missed a couple kicks last week. That's okay. He's coming back from injury. They won. Well, today, that missed kick is the difference in the game. Those 3 points right there.
And you have to wonder if that played some role in Matt LaFleur's sort of baffling decision to go for it on
Okay. Hold on a second.
What?
15 minutes ago, I said, I can't believe LaFleur went for it on 4th and 8.
I said I understood what he was thinking because McManus just missed a kick and you haven't gotten anything done all game. I also said I thought it was a bad decision.
Okay. That's not the way you phrased it when we were discussing it, made it sound like you were supportive of going for it.
I'm supportive of going for it if you think your kicker absolutely cannot hit anything.
Yeah, I just don't understand. 13-6. There's 10, 11 minutes left in the game. Points are hard to come by.
Your offense has gotten nothing done.
4th and 8. Take your points. I understand it's still a touchdown game, but there's a lot of clock left. A lot of clock left in the game at that point. And to me, it's just not worth it. If it's a 4th and 4, 4th and 3, we were talking about this during the Viking game, a little more manageable. Okay, let's send the offense back out there. But if McManus misses a 30-yard kick, now we have a different problem, right? You got to expect him to go out there and do his job. I just thought that was a bad decision from Green Bay. And, it wasn't a great day for LaFleur. I saw so many Packers fans were upset about the screens again. And Savion Williams had a really big fumble in the first half, the opening drive for Green Bay, where I don't know about how you feel about this, Ziggy, but whenever there are, game-changing plays early, I always wonder the ripple effect that it has throughout the rest of the game. Because Green Bay goes down and scores, right? Where did he fumble? On the 16-yard line of Carolina. If Green Bay goes down there after forcing a 3-and-out, go up 7-0, I'm not so sure they don't just blow out Carolina. And
well,
go ahead.
The Packers tried to learn a lesson from last week, which was let's let Jordan Love cook. Jordan Love had a great game. He's been incredibly efficient up until this point. The Panthers are going to ask Bryce Young only to drop back 25 times. Let's have Jordan Love drop back 40. Actually, it might have been 39. I can't remember. It was one of those two. He had a lot of opportunities to make plays. And yeah, he completed a lot of his passes. Yeah, he threw for 273 yards, but there's not a touchdown there. There's a horrible interception.
Yeah.
Right. We talked about this before the show. It was an unbelievably bad play. And for so long, Jordan Love has felt like a guy where if you need a big play out of him, you can ask him to get it and you'll get it most of the time. The Panthers have a strong run defense. Josh Jacobs still, I think, did his job against that. Gained almost 100 yards, had the only touchdown of the day. Getting basically nothing out of your passing game, despite the fact that you outgained the Panthers up 265 to 102 in passing yards, that didn't correlate to any points on the board for Green Bay.
No, and I'm just looking over the drive chart right now. Other than the interception, the Green Bay drives are 9 plays, 56 yards, fumble on the 16. Yeah, and you have a 9-play field goal drive, a 10-play field goal drive. You miss the kick. Then there's the interception. Then you have the 13-play turnover on downs and on the 13-yard line. And then the 12-play touchdown drive to tie it. Like, if you go through each Packer drive, I mean, they were in position to score.
There were more good plays than bad from the Packers offense.
Yes, and it's just, it's just failing in pivotal moments. And they did it against Cleveland, right? Love had the interception, and then the defense let them drive down the field. They did it against Dallas with the turnover to end the half and let Dallas back in the game. There's a fine line between this Packer team being 7-1, 8-0, but you said it too when I mentioned that before. This Packer team could also be like 4-4 right now, and it's just been inconsistency is the key word that every Packer fan has agreed upon. It's inconsistency when the offense is on, the defense is off. Even within a game. The defense, the defense can have a great drive, come back on the field, and then you let Carolina go 10 plays, 76 yards. It's like they just have not been able to get it going consistently over the course of multiple quarters, right? Not even games, quarters, where you allow things like this loss to Carolina to happen.
Bay, your goal this year is to go on a run in the playoffs and potentially win a Super Bowl.
Win the Super Bowl, yeah.
In order to do that, you have to win 3 or 4 games in a row. This Packers team so far has not looked like a team that can play good football for that long.
Well, let me ask you, they beat the Steelers last week with the dominant fourth quarter, and you came on here and said, this is the best team in football. Do you, after a day like today, first tell me, and then I'll follow it up with something, but first tell me, how does your tone change about the Packers right now? And we said we're not going to be too reactionary and too much exaggeration here, but what do you say to this?
I mean, my tone has changed to this can be the best team in football.
Okay.
Because still in this game, despite the struggles, and this is not me being a Packers homer, there's so many good players on this Green Bay team. And my belief in general is that good players will just win out eventually. Even if the coaching's not great, even if the play calling's not great, if you have more talent than your opponent, more likely than not, you're going to win the NFL game. And that's why the Packers, despite all these inconsistencies, are still 5-2-1 near the top of the NFC, at the top of the NFC North, because they have that talent. But we have to see a little bit more. And what's funny about the way this Green Bay team is even if the Eagles get blown out in Lambeau next week, which I still think the Packers will win that game, we're going to sit back saying, well, they're probably going to lose in New York. Maybe the Vikings will be able to do it. Like, I don't feel like I can trust this team.
Yeah. And that's sort of what I was leading to after that, is even if you still think that they can be the best team in football, and I think that's the right answer that you gave, a lot of Packer fans, I bet today, are sitting back thinking, how can I actually think that this team could really win 3-4 playoff games and go to the Super Bowl? Like the highs are so high, but they've lost to the Browns and the Panthers this year. And they almost lost to the Cardinals a couple weeks ago. They're playing up and they're playing down to their competition. And, you know, the highs have been really high, as good as any team in the league has played. But the lows are just raised so many questions and so many red flags. It's confusing. That's really what it is. It's just bizarre that they, you know, they're a handful of plays away each game, it feels like, from not just winning, but like blowing teams out. But at what point do we stop saying, oh, like Savion Williams doesn't fumble, maybe this turns into a blowout. Oh, if Jordan Love holds onto the ball against Dallas, you know, maybe they get a field goal in that game. And like, at what point do we have to stop saying that those are anomalies and just say that maybe this team is prone to making mistakes in big moments? That could be another question. It's, again, we're midway through the year, so there's still a lot of football left to be played. And we know, just looking back on last week, right? Last week to this week, tones change very quickly. But it's just so bizarre to me that the high of last week for Green Bay to the low today, unreal. And one more thing I want to point out before we go on to the next game. They once again did deliver when they needed points, right? That's one thing they have been consistent with. When the Packers have needed big drives, Jordan Love has executed. Today they go 12 plays, 71 yards, 5 minutes to tie the game. And then the defense allows the field goal drive to walk it off for Carolina. But once again, just as they've done all season long, when they needed points, Jordan got them down the field and delivered.
But I do feel a little bit differently about it when you need points and you've done nothing all game versus when you need points and you've played pretty well up until that point.
Yeah.
Like, I can't give him a lot of credit for that drive going well. At least I can't give him comparably a lot of credit when everything else went poorly for them this game.
Oh, I'll give them credit. I'll give the Packers credit on that. That was nice drive.
It's better than nothing.
Well, no, because that's why a handful of these games that they've won. I mean, they beat Arizona because they had to have it. They beat the Bengals, right? Because they were able to convert with Golden. They tied Dallas, and we'll see that. Ties are always so weird because it takes away, you know, the individual head-to-head games that matter so much as far as tiebreakers go. But like, it feels like a loss in the moment, but here we are, and the Packers have that half-game lead on the conference. Right? They're still up on the conference, or is Philly one?
They're not in the lead in the conference anymore because Philly's 6-2.
So,
but they're right there.
I mean, if Green Bay does get going and they're feeling good going to the playoffs and they're not the 1 seed or even the NFC North champion, there's going to be a lot of frustration looking back on this season with the performance against the teams you have to beat. And, you know, we're seeing the Patriots week in and week out, you know, beating up teams they should beat up. And the Falcons are a decent team. I'm talking about other New England games. You know, we see Buffalo even, like, you know, they take care of business against the Panthers last week. Most weeks you
but
can say.
But the Packers, it doesn't feel like they do at all.
The Lions do it against bad teams most weeks. Again, depends what you think of the Vikings. But typically speaking,
there's not a pattern of them playing good football and then collapsing the second that they can.
Yes. So it just has to change. And we'll see. If Green Bay beats Philadelphia next week, they're the 1 seed again. And people feel great, but at some point, right, they're going to have to beat one of these bad teams to be able to be in a position to have the playoffs run through Lambeau.
Yeah, and I do have one more thing to say about this game.
Yeah,
I retract everything I've said about Rico Dowdle.
Oh, yeah. I think he's
Rico
taking it
Dowdle
personally.
right now is third in the NFL in rushing yards, despite having double-digit carries in 5 games. The guys anywhere near him, Jonathan Taylor, double-digit carries every single game. James Cook, double-digit carries every single game. J.K. Dobbins, every single game. Like what Rico Dowdle is doing with the amount of opportunity he's getting is absolutely unreal.
Oh, he's been great.
And Packers fans got to see it again this game. If you give this guy the ball 20 times, he can make you pay somehow. It feels like once every couple of years, there's some running back that just comes out of nowhere and goes on a crazy tear. It's Rico Dowdle's year.
If the Panthers go to the play, Rico Dowdle legitimately could be an MVP discussion. He won't be. He's not winning the MVP. But if the Panthers end up in the playoffs somehow, I cannot imagine a world. I truly can't, even as they sit here at 5-4.
There's one world. They have 2 games against the Bucks in the last 3 weeks, and they're 2 games behind.
Yeah, but Rico Dowdle in these wins, 3 of their wins, he's gone for. Did they win all 3 when he went for 200?
Yes.
He goes for over 200 yards twice today, 130. I mean, he's been great. He's been fantastic. Yeah, I don't think it's crazy to say that he should be at least thrown in there. Oh yeah, by the way, Rico Dowdle has won Carolina 3 games.
There's 2 offenses in the NFL where the running back is the most important player: Indianapolis and Carolina.
The Panthers
maybe throw San Francisco in there too, but that's it.
I'm going to start the Rico Dowdle, and maybe you will too now that you've officially apologized to him and you've turned the corner. I might start the Rico Dowdle MVP train.
I try to be responsive to evidence. So many times I've said he can't keep doing it. He can keep doing it. The end.
Yeah, it's as much as you'll see a running back carry a team as you could really possibly find.